We already know it's difficult for the body to adapt to space. Microgravity and radiation impact our muscles, hearts, eyes, immune systems. So as we send more astronauts into space, the chance of routine injuries only increases. Our current measures are intended for gathering research, but we need to further develop our technology so that it can be used for longer duration missions or even colonization.
And that's where we come in. The HTEE Evaluation and Analysis Research Team is a team of undergraduates from Stanford and Caltech who care about this problem and want to do something to fix it. Our efforts focus on finding technologies that are already in use on Earth, because why would you go through an entire R&D cycle when you could just build on an existing design? We found the hemodynamic transesophageal echocardiogram, a type of ultrasound probe that you stick down the throat to get better images of the heart. This lets you get a better look about the health of each valve and chamber in your heart, assess how cardiac surgery went, diagnose a lot of different types of cardiac diseases, and figure out if you have any other abnormalities that are potentially life-threatening.
Once we were accepted, we had to figure out how we are going to execute the experiment in the shortest turnaround time from the proposal acceptance to the actual execution of the experiment in this program's history. In order to do this, we had to find the equipment for our experiment, and one of which was a mannequin that cost $26,000. Getting the probe in turned out to be surprisingly difficult, at least for a group of undergraduates, and so we needed help from the medical school. Knowing this, we went over to medical school and again got help from their simulation lab. We were able to insert a probe into their mannequins there and practice in order to pull off our flight as well as possible.
All of these challenges were daunting, but after solving them, we looked forward to one of the best experiences of our lives, the flight. When we went to Johnson Space Center for 10 days, we didn't know what to expect, because again, this was our first time doing it. But once we got there, we knew that our experiment was something that could have an impact on how space travel happens in the future. The flight was incredible, by far the favorite part of our entire experience. And the best part is, we got to do real science while we were flying.
We decided that we could test this device in a zero-gravity environment and then measure the relative image quality to see whether or not this device could be used as a diagnostic and surgery aid for long-term flights. One of the primary ways that we tested this device was that we gave all of the image results to trained cardiologists to see whether they could gain the same amount of information from the images in a zero-gravity environment compared to a normal gravity environment. We also employed computer vision analytic techniques to measure such things as the relative contrast and the amount of information that could be gleaned from the different images. All the results we've seen so far indicate that the HTEE is just as effective in a zero-gravity environment as it is in normal gravity.
Before and after Flight Week, we were involved with lots of outreach. So we participated in about 30 different outreach events. So we told middle and high school students about our experience in the Zero G program, and we also launched bottle rockets, which was a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun on our part, but also theirs, and I hope that their takeaway was a greater interest in STEM and space. And even though they may not be they may not all be astronauts or engineers, we hope that they got more excited about science and space.
We'd like to extend a huge thank you to all of the people who supported us along the way, without whom this would not have been possible. Our two faculty mentors, Dr. Marco Pavone and Dr. Peter Lee, were extremely helpful. The California Space Grant Consortium and several ASSU executives from Stanford, Dan Ashton, Abby Dow, Hashim Al-Fali, and Ryan Matsumoto, were extremely helpful in terms of getting funding to go down and actually perform this experiment, alongside contributions from the Caltech Huesner Grant and the Stanford Computer Science Department. The support of all of our mentors and the helpers in the Reduced Gravity office at Johnson Space Center. The companies that help us get the equipment to do this, Imacore and Blue Phantom and Protolabs. Popular Science and the Stanford Daily for recording our experiences, and everyone else who helped us along the way.